For now, though, it's dry, it's dark, it's cold, it's windy, but it's going to be all action because it is round 24 of the Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship. The lights are about to come on. They are red. As soon as they go out, we get underway, and they're off and running, charging towards the first corner. Dan Camish on the inside. Alongside him, Sam Osborne. They go charging down towards turn one. It's a pretty good start from both of them, but it's going to be Camish in the lead, Osborne in second place. Then the two Vauxhalls of Doble and Taylor Smith holding station as well. Rob Huff going up against the BMW of Adam Morgan. Morgan's just about got his nose in front at the moment, but the inside line is belonging to Rob Huff, and he's the bravest of the brave, so he's going to hold station. The two Vauxhalls trying to switch around position here, but Mikey Doble, I think, has he just about hold on to the place? No, Taylor Smith has nipped ahead of him in the number 40 car. So those two switch around in third and fourth positions. And we've got Ash Sutton already gaining 2 places up into ninth position. Somebody smokes the tyres on the way up into towards the hairpin at McLean's. Rob Huff, he's kind of getting boxed in on the inside in the red and white number 12 Toyota. It's the two Ford Focuses that lead the way from the two Vauxhalls in third and fourth. Then Morgan, and then Huff maybe dropping back a little bit. Josh Cook has gained a place off the start. Dan Rowbottom didn't make a great start at all. He lost 4 places through the first sector in the number 32 car. Exactly what he didn't need. And yeah, Cook has got ahead of Morgan as well. So Josh Cook going good. And then there's a wild ride for Ash Sutton going through the gravel trap, through the S's. So the number 1 car of the reigning champion tumbles down the order and slows right up. He's got problem. Might be a puncture. He's gone to the back of the field, heading down in towards the hairpin. And he might be pit bound. So he is dropped down. He's either got damage to the car or he's got a puncture. And he might be a puncture given that he went through the gravel trap. So Ash Sutton, who got his second win of the season earlier on and has moved up to second in the championship. He's about to head into the pit lane in dramatic fashion. And also coming in, Daryl De Leon in the Cupra Leon with a problem. Heading your way, Alan.
De Leon has just been past me. I can only see the left-hand side of the car. The car is crabbing horribly as it goes down pit lane. That's Ash Sutton.
Yeah, it's suspension, isn't it? We've got a time penalty for a full start for Chris Smiley, so 5 seconds is going to be added on to his time. Camish leads at the end of lap 1 then from Osborne, holding his own in second place. Taylor Smith getting ahead of Doble on that run down through the Craner curves into third. Doble fourth, Cook in fifth, Morgan in sixth. They both got ahead of Rob Huff in the middle of the lap. Hill is next up in 8th place, Turkington 9th, Rowbottom with a bad start down to 10th place. And news of the progress for Tom Ingram up to 14th from last but one on the grid. So he's up into the points already. Jake Hill is still, of course, outscoring him, but he's got a chance here to move at least back into second in the championship, with Ash Sutton now looking like he's not going to score any points in the race. So they make their way down into the S's. There's a big lead here for Dan Camish, and on the hybrid, a second and third. And Aaron Taylor Smith has got at the inside of Sam Osborne. He's going to get second place on the way into the Melbourne Loop. Mikey Doble's going to try and follow him through. The two Vauxhalls very close together. Taylor Smith has got the job done, but he's a bit slow coming out of the corner. And we've got a spin down at the back of the field for Turkington. One of the BMWs, yeah, Colin Turkington in the BMW. I wasn't sure if it was Morgan or Turkington. Here we go, and onto the grass goes Josh Cook as he's muscled out of the way by the two Vauxhalls. And then you've got Adam Morgan always pushing him down on the way into turn 1. So bodywork flying off the BMW there as well. So 2 of the top 4 in the championship out. Fastest lap of the race has gone to Tom Ingram, who's charging through the order. He's up now into the points positions and into 11th place overall. So Camish leads, Taylor Smith second, Doble third, Morgan fourth, Osborne down to 5th place, getting kind of muscled out of it at the end of that lap. And then Cook in 6th place, and Colin Turkington is last of the runners now in 18th place. Jake Hill is about to fire up the inside of Rob Huff on the way through Schwantz Curve. So that BMW goes forwards, and that moves Jake then up into 7th place. And Tom Ingram is about to have a go as well. Tom Ingram has almost risen up onto the tail of his closest championship rival, Jake Hill. So it's been a really good start here for Ingram in the race, and he's well up into the points. He's up into onto the edge of the top 10 now, and he can see he's near his championship rival one position ahead of him. The two Toyotas getting side by side. Rob Huff just about holding on to the position. And we're going to get a change here further back because Dan Rowbottom is about to dive up the inside of Sam Osborne. The two Napa Racing Ford Focuses together. Then you've got Jake Hill, lights on because it's getting quite dim and dusky here now. And then you've got Tom Ingram firing his way through the field like a hot knife through butter at the moment. Tom Chilton is making pretty good progress in the race as well. So Camish leads, then it's Taylor Smith, then it's Doble, then it's Morgan in fourth. Fifth place, Josh Cook, having a really solid day. Rowbottom into sixth, Osborne down to seventh. And you've got Colin Turkington about to drive past Nick Halstead to gain one place back. That will move him up to 16th. And just outside of the points at the moment, top 15 score points. And Ingram has sliced through on the exit to Redgate Corner. There's a few spots of rain come onto the camera lens. So that puts Ingram ahead of Hill, and that puts him now up into 8th place. He just got ahead of him coming out of Redgate Corner, got the job done on the way into Hollywood. So Tom Ingram absolutely charging through, 19th up to 9th place already, no, 8th place already, make it 7th place. He's got at the inside of Sam Osborne. He's like a man possessed. Jake Hill is going to try and follow him through as they come out of McLean's Corner. He's got the job done when they go to Coppice, and Hill slices through as well. Poor old Sam Osborne going backwards in this race. He's got to try and deal with the two Toyotas next of Rob Huff and Andrew Watson. So the 77 car going backwards, and there's contact between the two teammates, the two Speedworks teammates of Rob Huff and Andrew Watson. And Andrew Watson will lose a place to Tom Chilton as a result of that on the way into the S's. Meanwhile, second, third, fourth, fifth all together. This is a proper lively touring car race at the end of the day for everybody except for Dan Camish. He's having a nice boring race. He doesn't mind because he's winning it. You got Taylor Smith, Doble, Morgan and Cook all battling away for second place coming into Goddard's Corner. There's a bit of a gap back then to the next car down the road, which after a bad start is catching them back up. Dan Rowbottom, he's on the hybrid. He wants a podium finish out of this. And then, remarkably, it is Tom Ingram up to 7th place now, having started in 19th place. There is damage to that right rear corner of the Toyota, going to be of Rob Huff after that contact with Andrew Watson coming out of Coppice Corner on the previous laps. A smoke pouring from the back of the Toyota as he went into the right-hander at Redgate Corner. That would be bodywork rubbing on the tyre, would suggest. Hopefully it will rub itself away and he'll be okay. Mikey Doble and Aaron Taylor Smith both on the hybrid as they go side by side up through into McLean's Corner now. Taylor Smith hanging on to the inside. Doble trying to go around the outside of his teammate here. They're absolutely together. Adam Weaver, the team boss, will be closing his eyes, hoping they don't take each other out because they could be on for a double podium finish. Taylor Smith just hanging on to it, but they're both going to go out wide. And then you've got Josh Kirk and Adam Morgan side by side just behind them. Morgan almost onto the grass as he came out of Coppice Corner. Josh Cook feigns a move up the inside but stays behind him. And all of that allows Dan Rowbottom to catch up to them in the 32 Ford Focus. And they are all being gobbled up by the number 80 Hyundai of Tom Ingram. The 2022 champion is coming after this group, battling for second.
Ash Sutton's car is repaired. The tailpipe fell off when it had that boisterous run through the gravel. And also there was damage to the rear suspension. The team have worked hard. They've turned the car around. It's back on circuit.
Colin Turkington has just got ahead of Tom Chilton down at the Melbourne Loop as well. Tom had a bit of smoke coming from the front left corner of his number 3 Hyundai, so hopefully he's not got an issue developing. So Turkington charging back up the order. Next target, the other damaged car, Rob Huff. He's going to draw alongside it on the way down into Redgate Corner. Colin Turkington looking to go around the outside of the former World Touring Car Champion. That doesn't quite happen, but he's definitely the quicker of the two. As it stands, Tom Ingram is going to move back up to second in the championship, 2 points clear of Ash Sutton and 15 down on Jake Hill because he's outscoring Jake at the moment. Chris Smiley is on his way into the pit lane with an issue as well. He'd already got a 5-second penalty. It looks like a front left puncture. It is proper front left puncture. The tyre is completely off the rim. So Smiley comes in now as well. Been lots of contact in race during the British Touring Car Championship. That's a strange thing,
What
isn't
a surprise.
What a surprise. Yeah, exactly
Chris
right.
Smiley's car is not very smiley, it has to be said. It's got rear end damage amongst other things, I think.
I think you might have a Tom Chilton coming your way soon as well. He's just lost another place to Scott Sumpton, who's now into 14th position. And he's got an issue with the front left of that car, so it might be a slow puncture potentially. It's definitely bodywork damage, and Tom Chilton could be heading the pit lane fairly shortly. It looks like he's really struggling with that car. Meanwhile, Adam Morgan on the attack, trying to get ahead of the two Vauxhalls, trying to get ahead of one of them at least. Dan Camish leading on the way up towards Goddard's from Aaron Taylor-Smith and then Mikey Dobor. And the safety car is being deployed. So safety car coming out. It's because of all the bodywork on the track, I think. And all the cars still going, but this is going to completely bunch everybody up. Remember, we can extend the race by up to 3 laps for every lap we lose to the safety car. So take a breath. Dan Camish looks up towards the heavens, rolls his eyes and says, why? Why have you brought the safety car out? Everything was plain sailing. Everything was going well. And now you just brought them all onto my rear bumper. But everybody else was pretty much tied together anyway. I think it's because of all the bodywork that's disappeared. We've got Smiley, De Leon in the pits. You've got Sutton back out 3 laps down. And ITV is showing a replay of a disintegrating Cupra of Chris Smiley, leaving shards of carbon fibre bodywork on the track on the exit to the Melbourne Loop. If other cars go on that, they're going to get a puncture, which is why they've brought out the safety car. It'd be a fairly brief safety car if that's the case. They're trying to get Chris Smiley back out there at Restart Racing, and yet the marshals on the track with the brushes getting rid of that bodywork. So Dan Camish's lead evaporates down to nothing. He leads. Aaron Taylor-Smith is second. Mikey Dobell is third. Those two have been going at it hammer and tongs and trying to get involved in the fight have been Adam Morgan and Josh Cook, who are 4th and 5th. Now, great news this for Tom Ingram. He's up. He got ahead of Rowbottom just before that safety car came out as well. So he's up to 6th place now, and he's got them all lined up in front of him.
What do you think I'm about to say?
Raining.
Yes, spots of rain.
Spots. How many spots? Oh, well, not how many. Don't count them. But is it bad or is it very light?
No.
What? Light.
It's a couple of spots of rain.
Okay, but let me know if it gets worse.
Too right.
Okay.
I'll be indoors.
You'll be indoors, yeah. Report from the garages. Okay, 1 or 2 spots of rain, Alan says. So, Tom Ingram up into 6th place in the race, having a fantastic drive here. And where is Jake Hill? He's in 8th place, so he's outscoring him at the moment by 10 points for Tom Ingram and 8 points for Jake Hill as it stands, by 2 points. But the safety car has just peeled in. We're about to go back up to full speed. What do you reckon for a Tom Ingram podium here? I reckon he's got a good chance. I reckon he's going to go for it, that's for sure. This has been perfect for him. He's had some bad luck today, so maybe he's due some good luck. One driver that's definitely not due any bad luck is Dan Camish, so he just wants to get his head down now and pull away from those 2 Vauxhalls. Hope they continue to take slog punches out of each other, hold themselves up.
He's had a great restart as well, hasn't he, Dan Camish?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, absolutely right. So 1 or 2 spots of rain around, but nothing yet to put them off. Adam Morgan has dropped behind Josh Cook on that restart lap as well. And Tom Ingram is now going after the BMW as well as they climb up into McLean's corner. He's got the inside line. He's going to go for it. Of course he's going to go for it. Somebody kicks up smoke behind, but he's not quite got there, Tom Ingram. He will, though, at Coppice Corner. He's not ahead, but he's got the better line. He goes over the curbs. He gets alongside. He noses in front now of Adam Morgan. So Adam's dropped 2 places there. 1 to Josh Cook, 1 to Tom Ingram, and maybe another to Dan Rowbottom, who's all over the back of him. He's on the hybrid, desperately trying to fend off any more attacks, is Adam Morgan. So it is Dan Camish in the lead. 2nd place, Aaron Taylor-Smith. 3rd, Mikey Dobell. 4th, Josh Cook. But for how long? Because here comes the hybrid. Here comes Tom Ingram. He fires one up the inside. What a move from Tom Ingram. He dives down the inside of Josh Cook, who's the last of the late breakers anyway. Uses that hybrid beautifully. Gets 4th place. Cook is put completely off his stride. So Rowbottom gets past him as well. And then he's got the BMWs of Morgan and Hill queuing up behind him. New race distance, 15 laps, because those laps we lost to the safety car. And what a battle, what a move that was from Tom Ingram.
We also saw Aidan Moffat going off into the gravel, Chris.
Yes, just having a look at that on the monitors. So that's just hidden and behind the grandstand.
It's deep in the gravel.
It's properly deep in the gravel, isn't it? That could be another safety car. So Moffat out, stranded in the gravel. Will we get another safety car? I suppose Tom Ingram wouldn't mind. That'll key him all up in front of him again. He's going for it. There are more and more spots of rain on the camera lenses as into the gravel trap coming out of the old hairpin goes down Rowbottom. So he drops behind Jake Hill. Safety car is coming out. Jake Hill is committed to a move on Josh Cook at the moment, but he now has to back off out of it because they've got the message that the safety car is coming out. He's still alongside Josh Cook, and Jake Hill will get to Coppice Corner first. So Jake Hill moves up for now into 6th position. Just in time, he would argue, before the safety car message came out. No, you let Josh Cook back through. I think that's probably the right thing to do.
Very wise, I would say.
I'd say very wise. Yeah, he got probably either he realised himself or he got the shout from the teams to say, no, that's too tight. Let him back through. The safety car was out. I know he was kind of already in the overtaking manoeuvre, but I think sensibly, Jake Hill gives the place back. So Camish leads, looks to the heavens again and says, come on. It's 2 safety cars. We've got to do it all again now. Taylor Smith 2nd, Doble 3rd, Ingram in 4th place. Rowbottom, having dropped back now, is going to be back down out of the top 6. And proper topsy-turvy race here. Just put a couple of wheels through the gravel trap. Getting a replay on the ITV pictures of what happened to Aidan Moffat, and the answer is he got clipped by Andrew Watson and pirouetted round a 720-degree spin, which ended up in the gravel trap. Also a replay of Adam Morgan clipping the tyre stack just in front of them, and then the Sam Osborne Napa car going through the gravel trap as well in avoidance. So Camish leads, Taylor Smith is 2nd, Doble 3rd, Ingram from last but one on the grid is 4th. Yes, a podium is on. Cook is 5th, Hill is 6th. Rowbottom lost 2 places with a couple of wheels through the gravel trap at the old hairpin just before the safety car came out. So he's 7th. Morgan is 8th. Watson is 9th. Turkington is back up to 10th. He'll be grateful of the safety car again as well, having dropped to the back of the field after he went off briefly early in the race down at the hairpin, the Melbourne hairpin. 11th is Huff. 12th is Dan Zelos. 3 starts, 3-point scoring finishes so far, if it stays like this for Dan Zelos. Good effort. 13th is Sam Osborne. He's had a nightmare from the front row of the grid. 14th, Scott Sumpton. More points for Scott than his debut season. And 15th, the car seems to be just about holding together, is Tom Chilton. Then 16th, Nick Halstead. 17th, Darrell de Leon. Aidan Moffat is out, so eventually, when he gets the laps back up to 18th place, he's going to come Ash Sutton, and it started to rain.
Yeah, proper rain.
Oh, proper rain, okay. But for how long? Because it looks a bit brighter looking over in the distance. It might just be a little shower, this. Maybe no need to panic and come and put the wet tyres on. But let me know if they start to get the wets out of the garages. But for now, I would say you might want to hang on to the slicks.
So I understand the technical people describe this as mildly heavy rain.
Mildly heavy rain.
Yeah. I quite like that.
A mildly heavy, short, sharp
Stop
shower, I suppose.
Now. It's finished now.
Has it really?
Yeah,
okay.
It's mildly nothing.
So that was a proper short, sharp shower.
Yeah.
Just enough to stress everybody out.
There might be more to come.
Maybe. It's a bit brighter. Still 1 or 2 spots coming. It might be that different parts of the circuit have got different amounts of rain, but just a little shower. Feels like April, doesn't it, this weekend with all the showers that we've had. Safety car stays out, so the race distance will get extended up to 17 laps now.
Feels like November.
Feels like November. Have you ever come to Donington and been warm, Alan? I'm not sure we have with the British Touring Car Championship. Tell you what, though, it's not as bad as it was at the start of the year. It's less wet than then, so we can be grateful for that. Right. Camish leading the way as Nick Halstead comes into the pits and Tom Chilton comes into the pits. Now, I said a few laps ago that car seemed to be disintegrating, that Hyundai. He's held on to it. He's now finally given up the ghost, I think. So he's got damage to the front left corner. So busy work this for Team Bristol Street Motors. 2 of their cars coming at the same time. Right, Nick Halstead is going to go for wet tyres. Why not, eh? Give it a go. He might be a hero. He needs more rain, though. He definitely needs more rain, but he's going to go and throw the wet tyres on. Is Tom Chilton doing the same? I suggest it's damage to the car for Tom, because he's been smoking for a while, that car, front left corner. But, you know, if they can get the car fixed, would he? No, they haven't dropped him onto wets, I don't think, have they? Both. They have. Tom Chilton. Yeah, why not? Okay, give it a go. They're doing the rain dance now then, so they very quickly turn those two cars around, and we reckon they're both on wets. And look at the amount of black gaffer tape on the front left corner of Tom Chilton's car.
It is now mildly light rain.
Oh, it is starting again. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Well, they're going to stay on the lead lap. That was a really quick turnaround from Team Bristol Street Motors.
Flown off.
Bits of gaffer tape flying off Tom Chilton's car. Now, come on, Bristol Street Motors. They have nice yellow and blue tape on the Napa cars, but we've got black tape on the what's left of it. No, that's flying off now, isn't it?
It's all down at Redgate.
You know why? Gaffer tape doesn't stick very well to wet things.
Not when it's wet.
No. And it is starting to get wet. Okay, right. So it's going to be a Nick Halstead, Tom Chilton 1-2, is it, with the rain coming down. Safety car out still. New race distance will be confirmed of 17 laps. We're going to get the race back underway because the safety car now peels into the pit lane. Right, third time of asking Dan Camish is going to have to get them back underway. Slightly stressful race. It was looking nice and easy for him. Onto the hybrid goes Aaron Taylor-Smith in second place. He's pulling away from Mikey Doble in third as they go into the right-hander at Redgate corner. It feels a bit brighter overhead as they go through the turn. Is that rain going to go away very quickly, in which case it'll be a disaster for the two that came in and changed to wets of Halstead and Chilton. And they also, because there wasn't another lap behind the safety car, even before they get to the pack, would have to make up basically half a lap just to catch up to them. So I suppose it was worth a gamble. They were both struggling anyway. But I'm not sure it's going to work.
It's a long gamble, that, though.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, Adam Morgan underneath Dan Rowbottom. 7th and 8th, nose to tail, bringing with him Colin Turkington, bringing with him Andrew Watson. They go up, four of them together, into the right-hander at McLean's, and Morgan has got the inside line. He's got ahead of Rowbottom, and then he goes wide, and Colin Turkington is charging his way back up the order as well. So it's a good drive, isn't it, from Colin? Another great drive from the four-time champion, the 72-time race winner. He's got Andrew Watson coming with him. Rob Huff, with his slightly damaged car, is next up, and then it is going to be the number 45 Dan Zielos car in 12th place, the Hyundai. Right, the race leader, Dan Camish, is nailed it again on the restart. This is looking good for him, but he's the guinea pig because he arrives at the corners not quite knowing what grip it's going to be. Everybody else watches him and sees where he brakes, and if he slips up, they'll brake a bit earlier. And we got Jake Hill now trying to squeeze past Josh Cook. Josh Cook, who is in between the top two in the championship. Hill will still be the championship leader as it stands, but coming back into second place in the championship will be Ingram. He'd love a podium finish out of what's been a tough day so far here for him, which started well enough with 5th. He was pretty pleased with qualifying yesterday, but that DNF has really been painful for him. I think that rain is starting to ease up now as nose to tail into Redgate corner go the top two. Now, Aaron Taylor-Smith, we keep jesting that we've had the Irish national anthem on standby for a long while. It is ready to play. We haven't had the chance to do it for years. Can Aaron Taylor-Smith get the win? He's been leading races this year. He's been on pole position this year in reverse grid races, or on the front row of the grid, and it hasn't quite gone his way. But he sniffs the chance now, and he's certainly staying with Dan Camish. So the top two make their way up towards McLean's, about a car length and a half between them. Dan gets a better run coming out of the corner, in fairness, and it's getting slightly less slippy and slidey out there for them as they go up towards Coppice corner. Then Mikey Doble, then Tom Ingram, still in 4th place. Cook and Hill next up 5th and 6th. And then Morgan, Turkington and Watson and Robo's dropped to 10th place, which is back where he was at the end of the first lap. He started 6th, dropped to 10th. He got back to 6th, and he's dropped back to 10th again now. It's just about sums up his day, a real yo-yo day for the man from Kidderminster. Now, Tom Ingram, who is the monster of outbreakers on the way into the hairpin, is having another go here, trying to find a way past Mikey Doble. That is not quite yet happening. They had their incident in the race earlier on where Tom Ingram got up the inside of him on the way into the S's, had to take to the gravel to get past him. Mikey was saying that he should have really given the position back. Then there was a contact between them 2 corners later, which was what sent Tom Ingram all the way down the order to 13th place, but he got back to 5th position. But at the moment, he's just fallen back into the clutches of Josh Cook a little bit as they go into the right-hander at Redgate corner. We've got 4 laps to go, including the one we've just started. Camish has got a little bit more clear in the second half of that lap, 0.3 of a second clear, as Dan Rowbottom is fighting away with Andrew Watson for 9th 9th place now, trying to get the position back. Dan is committed now to the move, all the way down through the Craner curves. Andrew Watson, though, has got the inside line. Sam Osborne, he's trying to nerf down the inside of both of them. And you've got Tom Ingram now going for it on the hybrid, going up the hill, trying to be third. He is third. He's got ahead of Mikey Doble. So Ingram up into a podium position from 19th on the grid. He weaves across to the inside to cover off the line on the way into Coppice Corner because Doble's trying to get back ahead of him. And then you got Josh Cook trying to come around the outside now at Coppice Corner. Jake Hill is in the mix as well. It all is about to kick off. And guess who's joined them for fun? It is Colin Turkington, who was nowhere at the start of the race after his moment down at the hairpin, which I think was a bit of contact that sent him into that spin. So fantastic battle with all of the championship front runners, bar Ash Sutton, all fighting together. You got Jake Hill in the BMW trying to go around the outside now of Josh Cook. That will not work at the hairpin. So Camish leads. Second is Taylor Smith. Third is Ingram. And then fourth place, Mikey Doble. Fifth place, side by side. I'll tell you in a moment which one it's going to be, because here they come absolutely together. And the BMW of Jake Hill gets the run around the outside. That goes in the inside line now on Mikey Doble, heading down into Redgate Corner. A well-executed, well-planned move. He's just got to get the job done down the inside at Redgate, which, of course, he does. So the championship leader, Jake Hill, in the Laser Tools MB Motorsport BMW, up ahead of the Vauxhall of Mikey Doble. But Mikey's on the hybrid now, trying to get the place back, but he is there fifth at the moment. Doble down to sixth place, and then you got Turkington and Morgan in the two BMWs just behind as well. And guess what? Tom Ingram is catching up to Aaron Taylor-Smith now, because third place isn't good enough. He wants second. And what a move this would be if he could do it from all the way at the back of the grid. He is closing rapidly on the next of the Vauxhall Astras, and he's almost there. And we know how quick Tom has been today through that S-bend section when he gets the chance to use the hybrid as well. And he's still got plenty of hybrid left, which is the one benefit of not finishing in the top 7. At the moment, he's got himself back to within 11 points of the championship leader, Jake Hill, as he closes up and makes his way through the S's. He just didn't quite get the run out of the corner that time. So Aaron Taylor-Smith will stay ahead at the hairpin. And Dan Camish is just about keeping that at arm's length. I would suggest that Dan Camish would be very happy if Aaron Taylor-Smith could make a fight of this for a couple of laps, give him some breathing space and allow him to get away to get his first win of the season. Dan Camish is getting there, isn't he? Because there's 2 laps to go, including the one they are just about to start. Camish leads, Taylor-Smith second, Ingram third. Cook has run out of hybrid. He's there in fourth. Fifth is Hill. And then sixth and seventh are Doble and Turkington with Morgan next up in eighth. Daryl De Leon, by the way, doing an excellent job in ninth place in the Cupra. So the young 19-year-old, his first full season of the championship, running as third best independent and running in the top 10 in ninth place. Great job done by Unlimited Racing and the Duckham's Racing Cupra. Car which is getting better and better, and Daryl's getting better and better as well. Only the one driver in the team, so he's got no data, no teammate to work off, and he's doing fantastically well. Now, Tom Ingram closes up to Aaron Taylor-Smith on the way into McLean's. He's got the inside line, has he? For Coppice, he might do. He's going to carry the speed. No, he won't have the inside line. Taylor-Smith sticks it at the inside. He's going to try and come around the outside of him then at Coppice Corner. He's determined to do this, and he's got the speed. He's got the bit between his teeth. They're still side by side. Tom Ingram on the outside, but it gives him the better line coming up towards the S's now, and he's going to go second here. Tom Ingram from last but one of the grid, second place. Fantastic drive. So Ingram goes second, down to third place for Aaron Taylor-Smith. Cook in fourth, going down for the penultimate time now into the hairpin. It closes up again under braking, does Taylor-Smith. Jake Hill can see all this happening just in front. He thinks, no, I want to get some points back as well. So he's trying to get in on the action, trying to catch up to Josh Cook and Aaron Taylor-Smith. I'll tell you what, if there's a few more laps in this race, it could be on for a Tom Ingram win, but he's surely going to be too far back with 1 lap to go now on Dan Camish. Camish crosses the line in first place, 2.5 miles to go for his first win in more than a year. Ingram in second. He'll be delighted. And gutsy drive from Tom Ingram. He's been up against it a few times this year, and he's always come back fighting. Knockhill was the same when he got on the podium at the end of the day, but this is even better. It's been a terrific drive from 19th all the way up to second place for Ingram. Taylor-Smith down to third, but on course for a podium if he can keep Cook and Hill at bay. And that's going to be hard work, because Josh Cook is having a go now, coming out of the old hairpin, and he's trying to get up the inside. He's got to try and defend from Jake Hill as well. So they're going to go, all of them, 4 of them together on the way into McLean's corner. Taylor Smith hanging on to it for now. Josh Cook sent out wide by the BMW of Jake Hill. Jake Hill climbs the hill now. He's going to get the inside line. He's going to get up the inside. Is he of Josh Cook? No, he's not, because Josh bravely breaks as late as he can into the corner. And the Toyota just about fends off the BMW, and that's probably given the podium now to Aaron Taylor Smith. He's just got that little bit of a gap now as they come barreling down into the S's for the final time. What a race this has been, going out wide and deep. The BMW of Colin Turkington, he's had a good comeback drive as well. Into the hairpin at the Melbourne section for the final time, though, goes Dan Camish. But the star drive absolutely has to go to Tom Ingram from the back of the grid to second. Aaron Taylor Smith is there in third place, going to get another independence win. Got one more corner to go. For the first time in more than a year, we can say Dan Camish is a winner in the British Touring Car Championship. What a drive from Tom Ingram to second place. Absolutely magnificent. A champion's drive, that. Third place for Aaron Taylor Smith and the independence win. 4th for Cook, 5th for Hill, 6th for Doble, 7th for Turkington. We've got a few going side by side over the line, including Rob Huff and Scott Sumpton. Scott Sumpton has beaten Rob Huff to 14th place by 21 thousandths of a second as they cross the line together. Absolutely terrific race, or a great way to end the day for the touring cars. It's not the end of our day. Don't forget, we've still got a mini race to come after this. But we've got Dan Camish taking his first win for more than a year, but it's also his 50th career podium in the Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship. Give them a round of applause as they make their way past you on the slow down lap. Tom Ingram, though, deserves a standing ovation. That was brilliant. All the way through to second place, 1.9 seconds down on the race leader. Yes, there were a couple of safety cars, but you know what? He might have got there anyway, the way he was charging through the order. Nothing else on his mind but going forwards and throwing caution to the wind. And he's bagged out of it. Not just 17 points, but 18, because he also got the fastest lap of the race. Aaron Taylor Smith comes home in third place. He'll be very pleased with that as well. For a moment, just for a moment after the final safety car restart, he was pressurising Dan Camish. He thought maybe he's going to get that win at last, but it didn't quite happen. But Aaron Taylor Smith does get his second podium finish of the year. And what's that, 17th independence win now. Finally crossing the line with their wet tyres on. It didn't work, the gamble. Tom Chilton and Nick Halstead. They've got a couple of cooked sets of wet tyres now, I would say. But it was worth a shout. But the shower was short and sharp and disappeared very quickly. So Camish, number 27, wins. 80 Ingram second. 40 Taylor Smith third. 66 Josh Cook with his third fourth place finish of the day. Jake Hill, number 24, will walk away with a podium and 3 top 5 finishes and the championship lead. Not bad at all for somebody that's been under the weather this weekend. 6th place to number 88, Mikey Doble. 7th, number 20, Colin Turkington. Another great comeback from Colin, who will not go down without a fight. He keeps on digging in. He's still involved in this championship battle. Behind him was his teammate, Adam Morgan, number 33 in 8th. 9th, a great effort from Daryl De Leon in the number 18. Cupra Leon, and 10th place, number 77, Sam Osborne. He came back a bit in the end after a really rough start to the race. So 3 10th place finishes today for Sam. And well done, Dan Zelos, 11th place, his best result so far in his one day as a British touring car racer. He's got 3 point scoring finishes today, and he can't have done much more than that. 12th was Watson, 13th Rowbottom, 14th Sumpton, and 15th, the last point scorer, was Huff. Jake Hill, provisionally, 316 points, a 9-point lead in the championship over Tom Ingram. Third, Ash Sutton, he stays on 296. Fourth, Colin Turkington on 273. And Dan Camish, with that victory, gets back up into 5th place ahead of Josh Cook. So he's on 270 points and 262 for Josh Cook. So 54 points between the top 6 in the championship. And we've still got 67 points available at Silverstone and another 67 points potentially available at Brands Hatch. It's going to go down, this one, to the final weekend of the season. So into the technical check area will be a delighted Dan Camish, victorious at last. And Donington Park definitely owed him. He's got his 13th career victory, a 50th podium. But what a drive, Alan, from Tom Ingram. That was mega.